beautiful soul, welcome back to the channel. My name is Melina Mala and I am your host, and this is The Becoming. I am here every Tuesday. We are on episode 30. Welcome back, and welcome if you're new. This is a podcast where we talk about spirituality, self-growth, creativity, and trusting your voice and regulating your nervous system. It really is about a practice of coming home to yourself, because you can always come back to yourself. It's a cycle. That's what I'm going to talk about today, is the cycle and the spiral. Okay, we've been there. We've lost ourselves. We've come back home to ourselves. We've been sad about losing ourselves. But in that cycle, we come back with fresh eyes. We come back with new perspectives, new ways of being that can change and redirect the spiral. When we ground and when we anchor in our bodies, that is how we build awareness over time. This practice of coming back to your breath, of reminding yourself that you're okay, trusting in your path, as long as you keep living in alignment with who it is you truly want to become. It's all just divine timing at that point. It's a surrendering to the experience. But when you're spiraling, and if you're not conscious of those patterns and behaviors, you're going to have a hard time coming back home to yourself. The tools that you gain in figuring out who it is you are and feeling your purpose in life. Nobody can help you feel your purpose and live in your truth but you. And it's nobody's responsibility to get you there. You can obviously have people in your life who encourage you and love you and want you to do well. But at the end of the day, if you don't want that for yourself, nothing is going to change, and the people around you are never going to change. Obviously, there are forms of detachment you can do that bring you more peace. And in saying that doesn't mean the love goes away. The love is always there. But there can be compassion and anger. You learn how to hold multiple emotions at once through emotional intelligence and flexing that muscle over and over again. Learning what it is that has brought you joy in the past and grief, and how to hold both of those things. When you're spiraling, noticing when you're triggered, when you're activated, that is your nervous system signaling to you that it needs you to tend to your inner world and relax. Because you're living right here in this moment. And when you breathe and you anchor back into your body, you ground yourself in the present moment. You're aware of all it is that's around you. You're able to practice gratitude when you stay present and try. Because every time you try, you are becoming your highest version of self. The spiral is inevitable. Like all things in nature, it's a cycle, just like humans. When I share my binge eating disorder, when I share everything it is that I've healed from in my abandonment wounds and built my self-concept and sense of self through repetition and practice of coming back to myself, learning how to come back to myself with compassion and understanding, especially when the binge eating spiral used to occur. It was something where it was like I was filling a void. It was a compulsion of needing to crunch and satisfy this hole that's felt inside, or to numb and regulate in that way. Food as a coping mechanism, as a tool. Realizing it's not a fault of my own. And it wasn't a lack of willpower, because when you spiral, it's not a lack of willpower, trust me. It's just the natural cycle of coming back to yourself. You can catch your spiral When you reflect and you introspect, I tell everybody this, and it's a practice I've done for 5 years, is journaling. Anybody I talk to who has journaled knows what I'm talking about. If you're listening here today, if you've never journaled and it's something that intimidates you, start slow. Like anything, you want to build a habit, you start slow. Make it accessible. Let's say that's running in the morning. Put your shoes out the night before. Put your workout outfit all set up and ready to go. The least amount of time you give your brain to register or have to think before even doing that new habit or routine, the better. And that is what James Clear goes into in his book, Atomic Habits, as well as ways to solidify these habits and make it easier for yourself to create long-lasting habits. Remember also, it's not going to happen overnight like anything else. And that's one thing I want to touch on as well, is this idea of all or nothing. Through my own healing and therapy, I have absolutely squashed the all or nothing mindset. It is possible to rewire your brain to make the unconscious conscious, and when you start to understand that it's a practice, right now things are exciting, life is happening. I went viral on TikTok, which was so random, and literally from losing my job and making one post, it just honestly awakened something inside me. You know what? I'm just gonna go for it. Everything I've ever wanted, I'm just going for it. I'm putting myself out there. I'm going to become visible as my authentic self, and whoever likes me, whoever doesn't and disagrees, move on. Like, I'm not living for anybody else. I have my friends, I have my people, my community. I have me as well, that I need to make sure I'm living to my full expression, my full purpose in who I am and who I want to be and become. So, as I'm experiencing these exciting emotions, I spiraled a little bit the last couple days because my nervous system has been activated. I want to say this week was definitely a practice of coming home to myself, and even in the spiral, allowing myself to be seen in this vulnerable light of losing myself, brushing my teeth at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, just not shaming myself out of the spiral, but working with myself in it to get myself out of it. Being aware of when I'm stressed, when I'm activated, and the triggers such as fixations of biting my nails. That's one thing that goes. Not showering, not feeling comfortable enough to be in my own peace and solitude and quiet. Feeling like I need to fill that space and stimulate myself even more just to numb. And that's okay. It's okay to use these old coping mechanisms when they do come. And you have to remind yourself that you're still growing, you're still evolving, and that spiral is going to keep happening, but you have new perspective and new ways of being and thinking that will get you out of it. That you can trust yourself to come back home to yourself. That no matter what, you're always going to be okay, and you're never alone. And when you do get out of that spiral, remember that you weren't alone. You always had God, divine, your angels, your ancestors, whoever it is that brings you peace and alignment, the universe, God. Remind yourself that you were never alone in that. And as you step back out and experience new experiences and opportunities and things you never thought of, you're still guided, you're still held, and you can hold all that. Just because you spiraled from excitement or sadness doesn't mean that you're damaged or anything's wrong with you. It just means you're human and we're going through the natural cycle. So, lots of exciting things. I'm also putting myself out there. I'm dating again. I'm open to connection. Am I excited, hopeful, yearning? Do I have a crush? I'm excited to be doing this and just letting myself be seen again. You know what? In timing, I know that my divine partner is coming. And for the meantime, I still am going to pour into myself, show up for myself, look good for myself, and take myself on dates, have new experiences for myself. Because life doesn't stop when you're single. You keep evolving and you keep growing. And I'm at a point right now where I can add another person to my life that's already full. But does that necessarily mean it is the timing? No. Maybe I need more experiences being single. But maybe not. Who knows? I'm surrendering fully to the process. I am not chasing. I'm just allowing it to flow, taking experiences for what they are, and not tying my worth or my value to the fact I'm in a partnership or not. Because that doesn't take away my desirability. That doesn't take away my light, who I am, or my value. And that's something I keep telling myself and reminding myself, hey, look good, feel good for you. When you are living in your truth and when you are feeling good about yourself, when you are letting yourself be seen, you attract. And you will never miss what's meant for you. So if you're single right now, you got this. Keep going. Show up for yourself because you love yourself. Continue to nurture yourself. Give yourself that love. And allow yourself to grow and evolve. Doesn't mean that you're not worthy as you are. We're constantly growing and evolving. And the whole point is I want to do that forever. And I would hope that my divine counterpart would be the same. And as I'm in my singlehood, I'm learning my value. I'm learning how to live by my values in alignment, how to build and create the life I dream about. My goal is to create and experience my dream reality in this lifetime and help people in the process. I know that it's all coming. I know it's all happening. And I know it's happening for us. Because every day we choose to become, every day we get closer and closer to ourselves. And that is the most important relationship, is with yourself. When you spiral and you come back to yourself, you're showing yourself that you love yourself and that you can trust yourself. And that allows you to put yourself in a lot of situations that are way outside of your comfort zone. Going to events alone, being in your singlehood, until you feel like now I'm ready to add someone and I'm not just seeking a relationship because I want to fill a void, because nobody and nothing can fill that void but yourself. So when you come home to yourself, when you live inside your body and you experience your whole self, you're not looking to fill a space in your life. You're looking to add and to expand. You're evolving. Your capacity for your nervous system grows. You learn how to hold more and believe you deserve more. Because we all deserve to be living the life of our dreams, chasing our dreams, because that is the life. And that's so beautiful and exciting that we can architect this. I keep repeating this sentiment over and over because when you're in the spiral, you have a split second or a few minutes, however you perceive time. There's this moment of, okay, now that I know how I typically react, how am I going to respond this time around? What is one thing I can do to regulate myself from my new toolbox of coping mechanism skills that don't harm me? It's a process. But how can I choose better for myself and choose to come back to myself and not abandon myself? Because of this abandonment wound, but putting everything you now have learned through your own healing and therapy into action, taking that action, that next step. It can be the smallest thing into the direction of your dreams. And if you continue to do that over and over again, you're building. Every day you're building and becoming. On the days where it's hard to show up, show up. That is when you need to the most. The time is now to do anything you've ever wanted. Stop holding back. Genuinely do that thing. Start that business. Create that podcast. Create your content. Do it all. What are we living for if not to live and connect with people and be in our truth, experiencing this collective experience and in love with our lives, letting our love pour out into the world? Because really, when you do the work, you do the therapy, the healing, you're not just bettering yourself. You're not just making your life better. You're collectively making the world better. We are collectively healing and bringing love into the world. When you have extra love pouring out of you because your cup is so full, that is your service. And that, I feel, is my purpose. Now, the next time you catch yourself triggered, you're gonna start to notice your patterns and your habits and fixations that kind of come up. Biting your nails is one for me. When I haven't showered, when I'm just feeling like I want to comfort with food and this almost compulsion. If I don't text a friend, because isolation used to be a thing I used to do, just to say hey. Doesn't mean you need to hang out with that person. It's good to just reach out to your people, to your community. And then another thing I like to do is get out of my space and go for a walk. Drink water, meditation. When you realize you need to tune back in, quiet the noise, connect deeper to yourself, ground, and come back to presence and awareness, that is where your superpower lies, is in your awareness. And your practice is coming back to yourself. It's not about perfection all the time. It's not about productivity all the time. It's really about slowing down and experiencing the moment right now for what it is. And allowing yourself to dream of what it could be. Don't you at least want to feel like you've tried? And know that you've tried? You've given yourself, your inner child, the experience they deserve. There's one thing that I want you to have gotten from listening today, is this. Trust yourself enough to come back to yourself, to know that you'll always come back to yourself. Take one small action into the direction that you want to go, day by day, moment by moment. It's all happening for you. It wants to work out for you. And you're already doing it every day you choose to become. I am so proud of you, and I am so proud of myself. I am your host, Melina Mala, and this is The Becoming. I'm going to end the podcast here. I am here every Tuesday. Thank you so much for listening today, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Take care of yourself and water yourself. Bye for now.